Where'd Angie go? Hello and happy 10th anniversary of Lego Friends. This month, January 2012, marks the 10th anniversary of an extremely popular Lego theme.
Yes, Chris, extremely popular. One of the top 5 mini makers for Lego.
Today I am joined Randi and Angie to talk about all the fun, frenzy goodness. Now, I consider all Lego minifigs my friends. But today we're specifically talking about the invention of mini dolls.
Yes.
And Friends as a brand, still going strong after 10 years.
Yes, I'm very happy to be here with my friends, my besties at work. We're so happy to be here today. This is a dream come true.
She's been wanting to do Friends since we started
We have. I've
doing
been begging
podcasts.
it. Chris, the only reason Chris let me do it was because it's the 10th anniversary, and he's like, yeah, I guess we got it.
Yeah. Actually, Chris likes Friends. He does not want to admit that, but he actually knows a lot about it, and he actually likes it. Let's talk about the history a little bit.
Okay.
There was a little bit of controversy. We won't dive too deep into that. Apparently, in 2011, you could get some of the Friends set early. The official release was 2012. It hit the scene, and people were very, very excited about it. Most people were. There was a loud minority, I believe, that did not like it. And we'll go ahead and get the controversy out of the way. I'll try to sum it up as best I can, but you guys jump in. Randi, were you into Lego at that time? You weren't, right?
I wasn't as much, but my oldest daughter, was 8 and very much into Lego because she got into Lego in kindergarten. She got to be part of a Lego club, and so she got very much into it. And so when these came out, she loved them and wanted everything, and she still has quite her collection of all the sets that came out. As they came out, she was very aware of all of it at 8 years old.
Do you remember her reaction walking in that store and first seeing Lego sets specifically geared for little girls?
Yes. She was very excited. She loved, hers was Olivia. Is her character that she chose, that she connected to the most. She started getting into the other friends too, the 5 main girls, but she really connected with Olivia, and then she loved to put them in her other Lego sets. So it wasn't so much a boy-girl thing for her, it was just more to add to it, and she liked the color scheme and everything as well. But it was a lot of excitement walking down the aisle. It was, look at this set, look at this set, look at this set. And to this day, every year since she was in kindergarten, her Christmas list is Lego. Every year. There's never been a year for her birthday and Christmas she hasn't asked for Lego.
And how about you and your family being Lego fans, being a Lego fan yourself? When you first saw it, do you remember the reaction?
I tried to get my son involved in Lego early on, and he just never really attached to it. So our family always admired Lego, but it wasn't until my daughter Lee I think she was 7 when it came out, and she discovered it, and that's what really woke me up to like, wow, Lego's cool. It is for girls, because growing up it never felt like it was for girls. The stuff was just ugly, and it was like a terrible version of a Barbie that was like you would burn. So it was never something that I ever got into at all as a kid. So I almost relived my childhood with Lee in all of the sets that she would get, and she was obsessed, and she didn't really have a favorite character. She was more involved in the, ooh, there's a mall, ooh, there's a hotel.
She liked the sets.
Yeah, so she was more into the details of that. And so we probably need to take a moment of silence for this, because when she turned 13, she came to me one day and she was like, Mom, I hate to tell you this, but I don't want to do Lego anymore. It was hard.
I feel that.
These are her dark ages right now. I feel she'll come back one day. But the silver lining in all of that is that's what brought me to this store.
Yeah.
Because when we moved here, I had all her sets, and I was trying to sell them on eBay. And I was trying to complete them, and I found this store, and that's the rest is history. But
so Friends actually is the reason you're here today.
Yes.
Wow. If my kids came up to me, or when my kids come up to me and say, I'm not into Lego anymore, I'd be like, yes, they're all mine now.
I know, right? Yeah.
Get out of my Lego room.
Yes, exactly.
To this day, mine still don't. She doesn't like to share her Lego. They're hers. They're her sets, and she's very.
What's
she takes
funny
ownership
is
of all of
Randi
them.
takes her sets home for herself, and then her kids grab them and build them. So she's like, I couldn't build that one.
All my Christmas sets. They got them all before I could.
Oh,
yes.
You need to hide them.
I know.
Yeah.
So when Friends first came out, piggybacking off what you said, that you felt like Lego growing up, you liked the product. There was something that attracted you to it, but it seemed like it wasn't for you.
Correct.
That-
I mean, this is the kind of stuff.
They're terrifying.
Yes, this is the kind of stuff we were given. And honestly,
Yeah, cute.
I-
Nobody wants to play with.
I was into Barbies. So to see this,
It's a little frightening.
Yeah.
Now, is this Belleville or
doesn't-
Scala?
I think that's Scala.
Okay.
This stuff, it's not the right size to go with any of the Lego that was out. The parts were bigger and more weird, but these didn't hardly fit in what the set it came in. It just was odd. So you're thinking, okay, let's try to play Lego with my brother, and he's got this, and I've got this. I mean, what?
It didn't go.
Yeah.
These, too. Look how scary these are. I mean, these
This
are...
is not what you want to play with.
Lego, so
this is
Lego
their
has...
vision of what a girl wants.
Lego knew that their product was much more popular with boys. Of course, there's always been girls that liked Lego. There's always been girls that had an engineering brain and loved the building, but they are in the vast, vast, vast minority.
Especially back then, it wasn't necessarily encouraged.
It wasn't
girls.
encouraged by parents. It wasn't
Right.
encouraged as much as it is by society.
Today.
So there was even
Yes.
less,
Yes.
I would say,
Yes.
than there is now. And Lego knew, being a company for profit, they wanted to get into the girl market. So they
Correct.
tried these Barbie versions of Lego and these little doll versions of Lego, and none of it took off. They even tried, someone told me that Paradisia, however you say it,
yeah.
which was regular minifig
Yes,
system,
yes.
that was targeted for girls as well.
Mainly because it was a pastel colors.
It was all about being on vacation and on the
Correct.
beach and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's like the light pink and all the mint green looking colors and all of that. But honestly, it got dirty quicker because everything was white and light gray, and it was just still not what girls wanted.
Yeah. So what Lego decided to do, who knows back when, 2008, whenever they started, but they did a very long and very detailed market research to find out, okay, how do we get the girls into Lego? How do we get little girls to play with Lego? What pains me is when, you don't hear it much anymore, when people say, oh, it's this company reinforcing bad stereotypes and stuff. It's like, that's not what happened.
That isn't what happened. That's not what happened at all.
They went to the parents and to the children with a blank slate and said, what do you want?
They did interviews and role playing and all kinds of things with 3,000 families,
Yes.
parents and girls. And the overwhelming majority wanted free play, inspirational things that were inside the builds. Like the boys' kind of builds were, oh, let's build it. Oh, there's a catapult. They immediately start playing with it or whatever. The girls would look at the boys' sets and go, well, but where's the little kitchen set? And like, where's the
They
stuff
wanted like a
inside?
dollhouse.
But yeah.
Yes, they
like
wanted stuff, details, bright colors in their set so they could play with it.
So they wanted more play sets. They wanted more role play within domestic settings.
Correct.
They wanted a new
Little
color
details.
palette.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
they did not. They
don't
want a
want
whole new color
crazy.
palette, and they did not like the minifigures.
No.
They wanted something that was more like a doll.
Yeah.
This is
True.
not an evil organization
No.
putting their ideas.
it's really not.
They're not here to politically influence people. They're here to make money.
Right, exactly. And
what-
if making the money would have been giving them the regular stuff and all, if that's what the girls had wanted, that's what they would have done.
Yes.
That is not what the girls wanted.
And so they came out with the innovation
Yes,
of the mini doll,
correct. She's a little taller than a figure.
but still works in
with the system.
most sets and small enough to be in the system. Man, it has been a huge runaway success. I read that the original year doubled
It did.
their expectations.
It doubled profit of what they thought they were going to get, and it has exponentially grown since. And it's in the top 5 sellers for Lego as
multiple years in a
far
row.
as profit making for Lego. Is Friends.
Top 5 themes in
Yes.
multiple years in a row. So it's not going away.
It's not.
It's pretty
I
awesome.
think most people have got. I mean, there are still a few diehards that come in our door and I don't like the Friends because it doesn't have any. And that's fine. They're totally able to have that opinion. For me personally, these are the bomb.
They're great.
I don't want to harp on this because it seems like that idea is dying. You don't hear it nearly as much anymore. Every once in a while, you'll see someone comment, and they're basically just recycling what someone else said. Like, it's not their own thought. They're just, that's my opinion anyway. But I remember, I'll tell you a story. This actually happened. My boss in my former life came up to me. She found out I was into Lego, and she was like, "What's with this friends, this girl thing? Like, you know, why can't they just play with the boy stuff? Why can't Lego be for everyone? Like, why can't the girls play with the regular Lego stuff?" I said, "Because they're not. Lego's traditional demographic has overwhelmingly been little boys, and they want the little girls." Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah.
And she kind of like didn't want to believe me. It's like, what? Because she was in that mentality of this evil organization reinforcing negative stereotypes. Like, and I told her the whole thing about how it was market research, and it took years, and that's what they wanted. They gave them what they asked for.
Right, exactly.
And so she said, "Oh, so it's," and she kind of walked away, I think, with the idea of, "Oh, then it's like the parents' fault for reinforcing stereotypes, or it's society's fault." And it's like, no.
Yeah.
If first of all, this woman didn't have any children, and I think anyone who's dealt with a lot of children, like daycare, teachers, I think parents with multiple children, I think you realize very early, boys and girls are different.
They are, yeah. How they play is different. What they like to play with is different.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the thing is, though, you can blend them.
You can.
Yeah.
They're made to blend. That's why, this doesn't blend, but these do, and you can.
Yes.
Because I have boys and girls, so they had different themes they liked.
Yeah.
But they could bring them all together now.
There are some girls that come into the store and want the little girl regular figures, but for the most part, the biggest complaint we get with our Build-A-Fig is we don't have any of these parts in there for the girls to build.
And the hair is the only thing that's compatible with system, right?
Correct.
And of course, accessories.
Yes.
Accessories.
Yes.
That was another thing that Lego introduced with Friends, was not only the colors, not only the mini dolls, but a ton of new accessories.
We got purses. Never had the purses before.
The sunglasses, I love.
Yeah, I forgot about
Me
that.
and my girls, we loved all the
The
sunglasses.
lipstick.
Medical,
yes.
like and non-gender specific, like medical device, a stethoscope, hair dryers.
Jess and I were going to wear party hats today to celebrate. We couldn't find any, but look, Friends has one.
There you go.
And crowns.
Crowns.
Oh, yeah. The girls have holes in their head to hold these things in place, which I think is funny.
The other thing we saw with Friends is an entire new aesthetic for animals. Here's an example of two different animals. This is the System Dolphin. I believe this came out with Batman. CMF. And then Friends Dolphin.
Yep.
A Friends Elves Owl, and the regular Harry Potter Owl.
Much curvier, more detail.
And it has the girly eyes.
It's
It has to have the girly
eyes.
eyes.
Yes.
It makes you fall in love with all of them.
It does. They all are so sweet. Have you ever heard in the back? That's me and that's Randy and I. We're both like,
look at how cute it is. It's so cute.
and the tinier it is, the higher we go.
Yeah.
I know that is a complaint for system people, but because the aesthetic is so different with the animals, it's hard to use them in your... You want a park scene with a bunch of birds? Who has the most birds? Friends and elves.
Yeah.
But you can't use them because they look like almost people-like with the eyes. So I know that is a complaint, and that one I see a little more. Like, I can understand that. I mean, look at the eyes on this dolphin, a little more realistic.
Yeah, and he's bigger. The other one's smaller, a little tinier, more petite.
Yes.
Well, before we can even start, we need to talk about the 5 main girls, because
yeah.
throughout this entire thing, there are the 5, and then we have the others.
The Fab Five.
Yes.
And the others.
The others. Because it kind of goes, we were talking about this yesterday, it kind of goes along with Ninjago. They have the 5 main karate guys, whatever they're called, and then the others that all help them out. And Ninjago came out the year before Friends, and they're both like super doing well for Lego themes. I mean, 5 main girls. Would you like to name one?
Olivia, just because she was the one we always had.
Yes.
Which one's Olivia?
Olivia, she's right there on your box right there.
We
She's
also
the
have
artist,
her here,
which is my daughter. So
that's
her
Emma.
personality.
This is Olivia. Sorry, this is Olivia. Show everybody. Now we'll explain the progression as we go. This was the first Olivia ever, one of the first ones ever.
So they changed the skin tone on it to what, medium nougat? Okay,
Yep.
so she was light flesh originally, and they gave her glasses too?
Yeah.
This is the same
The
character?
same character, yes.
Yeah, in 2018 they did or maybe prior to that, they did some more asking girls, what's your opinion? And they did have some girls that were writing in saying that the 5 were not reflection of all the different types of people in the world.
Oh, so more diversity.
More
They
diversity,
wanted more
okay.
diversity. So then in 2018, Lego started changing the way that Olivia looked. In the very beginning, the girls books like this was a 2014 encyclopedia book that I used a lot to learn about them. They gave them hobbies. Like when they first came out, they were just all girls having fun. They didn't really have any kind of character to them. And as the years progressed, they all developed their loves of certain things.
There was a show, too, that
There
expanded
was a show
okay.
that lasted a few years and a couple of shows that have come out in the past. And it started to develop things that they love and their hobby. So Olivia's love is science and robotics. So is that
That's
why
where they
she
gave her
likes it?
Yeah, so
glasses.
my
Okay.
oldest very much connected with her because of that.
Yes.
I can just
Yeah.
see an executive take the glasses. You're the nerd.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And so that is kind of, I think, why she got the glasses
Okay.
in the beginning. I think for that reason, maybe. I'm not sure. Again, to kind of bring in different people.
Okay.
So there's Olivia. That's her favorite. My favorite
And
is...
none of them had glasses before, right? So that was another
No,
way to
no one
diversify
did.
them,
Yeah.
is to have them, and it reinforces
Yes.
her hobbies, or
Yeah.
what makes her special.
Yeah,
Correct.
Okay.
Or for those little girls out there that have glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
They
People
connect
have
to
glasses.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite was Emma, because she was real artsy, fartsy.
She was the
Can I say
artsy.
that?
You're right, yeah.
Can I say
Yeah.
that?
She changed too.
She also changed.
Now, was that the same year?
The same year.
Okay,
Yes.
so originally she was dark hair, green eyes, same skin tone, but they gave her same hair. They changed her eyes to brown, and obviously, like you said, Asian
More
influence.
Asian
Yeah.
influence.
Interesting.
So, yes,
Okay.
this was the first one. And actually, this is the number 1 figure, 001, for
Wow.
Lego Friends.
Emma.
Yeah, she was in
Emma.
the very first set, which the very first set that ever came out was this cafe set.
That's wave 1?
3061. Yep, this was wave 1, set number 1
Wow.
in 2012. She was my favorite because she is the into arts. You want to name another one?
Andrea. Or Andrea, I guess, however you want to
how's
say it.
Andrea?
They say it
Andrea.
differently in the cartoon.
Well, the guys called me at some point and were like, do you say Andrea or Andrea or what do you do? And I'm like, I think it's Andrea. And they're like, wrong, you don't know Friends. It's Andrea. Because they watched some cartoon and that's what the girls were calling her. And she's had a big progression of change.
she was the only original woman of color in
Correct.
the original.
Her life has evolved over time as well. She was kind of didn't really have a hobby that you could really pinpoint for her until Livy came to town in her rock and roll bus,
That's
and
right.
that completely changed Andrea's life.
So now
Yes.
she's into
So
music.
now she is music.
She's
She's a
music.
musician. She's just completely all about being a singer, and etc.
So they had her originally with dark nougat and green eyes, and she's kept the same skin tone and gone to brown eyes.
This is Livy, who came to town in her bus.
So that year, that
Rock stars,
theme was
yes.
all rock stars
Yeah.
and pop stars and
Pop
stuff.
stars.
There we go.
That's Livy on set on her
Okay.
stage.
There's her
And
whole...
Andrea just got crazy over her, and then from that point forward, she just went music.
Her thing was
and
music.
Everything
Okay.
is music with
Music.
her. Everything is music.
Okay.
Then there's Stephanie.
The main one.
Stephanie.
The
The
leader.
main one, yes.
She
yes,
has to
the
be because she's
one-
the blonde.
Yeah, and
The
she's
leader is
the
always
mean girl.
blonde.
I don't know. Yeah, she is the one that's really not changed at all. Now, she is also, interestingly enough, is the only girl who wears her hair in a different way. The other girls all keep their hair the same. She's the one that's really not changed a lot. She is another one that you can get her hair in a ponytail. Mia has always got her hair in a ponytail. You never get her hair any other way. There is a beauty salon set that you can buy where her hair is down and you can change it to a down look, but there's no official figure with her hair down ever.
Is this the oldest one or the newest one?
This is the newest one.
So they've changed from an auburn to a true redhead.
She goes back and forth though.
Just like me.
Yeah.
Oh, she does? Okay.
Yeah, she can be one or the other. It
Yeah.
just depends
Now,
on
what
her day
about-
and the mood, I
Yeah.
guess.
Andrea, her hair changed.
Her hair did
Yes.
change.
Did they
And
ever go
Olivia's hair
back to
changed.
this?
Yeah.
No. Olivia's
So
hair
this
changed
is phased
too.
out.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do you see the difference in Olivia's hair? Where she's from here to here. There's a braid in the front of this one.
Okay.
which is different.
But she
It's
could have
still
changed.
similar.
But but the reason, just to reiterate, the reason why you guys are pointing this out is because the hair is always consistent. The hairstyle is just as important as the hair color to identify the character. Their hair, or most of their hair, has not changed.
Right.
But Stephanie, in particular, sometimes wears her hair up and sometimes doesn't.
Because-
And none of the other characters change their hair.
Correct. And because she's an athlete, all her stuff is to do
that's
with
why.
health and fitness.
Yes.
And so she does wear her hair out when she's going to go play basketball or whatever she's going to do, because she does play all the sports and she's obsessed with that. I think she works in a gym.
In my head canon, they didn't change their races or their looks. It was a new girl that came in and they got rid of the old one. It's like, no, your name is Olivia now.
Yeah. And you're and everyone, no one notices. Everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they notice it, but
On
no one
Saved
says.
by the Bell, when they took Tori out and brought Jesse in,
Yes.
all of a sudden there's just a new person there.
assumed and
Or
done.
they did that. They did that from Back to the Future 1 to 2.
Yes,
The girlfriend,
changed.
yeah.
But no one was supposed to say anything.
Yeah.
Nobody's supposed to notice.
No.
Yeah, I think we also didn't say that Mia, her obsession is animals.
Animals.
And everything outdoors.
Yes.
So she's very much an animal activist and all that. Which
And a lot of water.
She went from brown
Adventure.
eyes to green too. They
Yeah.
changed the eye color on her as
she
well.
her freckles and her new person are much more demonstrative. You can really see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the freckles.
I do,
I
too.
do. I think they're
Okay. Interesting. So that is the core 5. We've had other characters jump in and out, but it's always been the core 5 for 10 years.
Correct. What we call the others
Yeah.
are their supporting roles and the
Yeah.
supporting characters, including their parents, which I did bring their parents out if people care. I don't know if you care or not. So Olivia's parents are Anna and Peter. The thing about all the friends is they all have their own house style. They all have their own vehicle style. And then each of them obviously have parents. That we don't meet them right away. Olivia's was the first one. That's Olivia's house.
She's rich.
Yeah. So rich. 2-story. This is where we were introduced to her parents. And Olivia's house came out in 2012. It's the oldest house that you can even get.
How old are they? Because they have jobs,
Right.
they go on African safaris.
Yeah, the girls,
Yeah.
right. And you never see their parents except at the house.
Right.
So the parents stay home, I guess, and these girls go
They're
on.
stay-at-home parents.
Yeah, they're stay-at-home parents.
And
They're-
the kids go to work.
yeah, the girls.
And they're definitely high
Fly-
school, right? Because
yeah,
the schools
it
are
seems
not.
like they do talk
okay.
about Heart Lake High School.
Yeah.
And there's been school sets.
There are school
So-
sets,
so-
performing arts school sets too,
Yes.
and but they all go on these cruises. They're all on an air
That's
jet
right.
plane, jetting around.
They're yachting.
Now, the one thing I do notice is some of the others are older. So maybe
Right.
they're like the chaperones. So they're like their best friends, but they're older.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird situation. But yeah, so Olivia's parents are Anna and Peter, and then her favorite pet of all time, which I can't remember. Oh, Zobo is his name.
Zobo.
It's a hamster.
Hamster.
And she's obsessed with making robots. So she built these robots, I believe, originally to house the hamster to ride around in.
She's into animals and robots.
Yeah.
Just Zobo. She doesn't care about any other animals, just Zobo. Emma, her house was the next one. Yes, those are her parents. Emma's house came out in 2015.
Look at that. Oh, beautiful.
So pretty. It came out in 2015. Emma's parents' names are Louis and Charlotte. And Louis,
Oh,
he
the
looks
hair's bad.
so shady. So weird.
Yeah, Lewis he's done some stuff in his life. He's got a little,
Why?
like, Munster hair
look
going
at that
on.
little
Look at the...
teeny tiny goatee. Like
Oh.
it's
And the widow's peak.
Yeah.
He's a used car salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little shady.
Yeah.
Emma's best friend's name is Sarah. Her favorite pet is a cat, and his name is Chicks. But here's the thing. If you look on Bricklink, that's not his name. I
No.
forget what his name is. But in this book, this is what they say. Now, the television show, it's different. It's a different animal. It's a different best friend. It's very
They
strange.
took some liberties with the
They-
show.
I've heard that the shows, the consistency they created in the sets, the show sometimes uses and sometimes ignores. And then apparently there's been a 3D reboot where they kind of
Yes.
started over, and that even
Changed even
undoes.
more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Apparently, some characters who were adult parents with children are now children themselves in the reboot,
that weird?
and it's
Yeah.
like mixed a lot of stuff around, which is odd for Lego because usually like
Yeah.
Try to
Ninjago
stay
always
consistent.
follows
Right.
the show. Yeah.
I don't know why they did that, honestly. All right, so Stephanie's house was the next one. Wait! No, we need to start the whole thing over
No,
again.
no, okay.
This is Stephanie's house.
Stephanie's house.
Emma's house. You need to flash a picture
Okay.
of Emma's house.
Oh, we don't have that one.
So
Oh, no, that's
that's
Mia.
we
Emma's
don't
house
have
there.
it.
Oh,
we don't
yeah.
have it. And Stephanie and her best friend's name is Lily.
Oh,
Lily. Mia was next in
Okay.
2019.
And
Her
then, is
house
that
came
her
out.
dad with the mustache?
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa,
His name
look
is
at that.
Angus.
Angus.
Oh, of course, she's a redhead, so
Uh-huh.
she's Scottish or Irish
Mm-hmm.
or something.
This is her dad, Angus. Her mom's name is Anne. We do not have her.
We do not
she
have an
sells
Anne
out
right now.
pretty every time we get her.
Why?
I guess because her hair is pretty cool. It's like this braided, but she's also a redhead as well. And then Mia's best friend's name is Chloe, and her best friend horse is Bella. Look at this. This is Chloe. This is Sarah. But they're wearing the exact same outfit.
Yeah, different hair.
Just different hair. That's what distinguishes the two girls from one another. That's it. All right, and then the last one is Andrea's house. She didn't get a house until 2021.
So she just lived under a bridge till then?
I guess so. We never knew what anything was
was on
about
the-
her. What
She was on the party bus.
she was on the party bus.
She has a pretty big house, too. All these girls are rich.
Yeah. That's why they can travel and do all the things that
I
they
know.
do. We do have her parents, though. We just got these in a couple of days ago, actually. So her best friend animal is a pet bird named Pepper. Then her best friend's name is Ewa. And then her parents' names are Martin and Donna.
And they never go into what their parents do or anything.
Not yet.
They
They're
just-
stay-at-home parents.
Yeah.
They sit at home and make lots of money.
Make lots
doing,
of money so these girls can
They
go.
trade Bitcoin.
Yes. So yeah, those are the 5 main girls, and anything you may or may not have ever wanted to know about them.
What's interesting about this theme, unlike City and Fire and stuff, what they're starting to do now with their Lego show, but from the beginning, it was consistent named characters. With, like you said, as the theme went on, they added specific interests, specific friends, and that became a new consistency throughout the line. This is always their animal friend. It always has this name, except for the exceptions you mentioned, which was a fairly new thing. I mean, they did it with Ninjago. It was cool, and that's why people don't like it when you change it, because you start this
You get
Yes.
a storyline.
one
going,
thing
right?
and then you flip it over. As a male fan, I always felt like the Friends had some really cool pieces and colors. I also felt like the sets were extremely affordable. To me, they felt like and I didn't notice at the time if the ages were lower on Friends, but I felt like they were simpler builds.
Well,
but
you know why, though? Because that was another thing that they talked about with the girls and the parents when they did the interviewing, that the girls didn't want these massive sets. They wanted tiny things they could build and put into like a city thing. So you don't want to have a bunch of big stuff in a city. So that was one of the things the girls wanted, were smaller sets that they could build really quick and then play with.
But some of these sets you're showing us are pretty big.
Right. There are the exceptions, obviously.
But most of them
But
are small.
most of them are small.
What I notice is, as a product in general, they had larger pieces. They were faster builds. They still had the details on the inside, but
Correct.
the
The outside didn't matter
sets,
as much.
Yeah.
the sets tried to create as much detail as they could with the minimum amount of pieces, and therefore your dollar stretched a little more. You got some pretty sizable things that were cheap.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, and it's because they use these larger pieces. I always noticed that about the Friends, and I felt like, well, are they going for a lower age range?
No.
But
This
then
is what the girls wanted. This
Okay.
is what they were interviewed and asked, and this is what they wanted. Smaller things that they could build quickly and get to the play part of it. Where it wasn't really the build itself that was the goal. It was to be
The
able to
imagination play behind it.
put it in a big city. So you got the little salon, you got the little fruit market or whatever, and then the girls could just immediately start playing. Now they did have some big sets, but in that first year I think they didn't do hardly any big sets. Most of the stuff that you see from 2012 are like these little, if you want to show some of those little animal packs.
Oh, the animals.
Yes, the girls were obsessed, and I feel like I am too.
Yes.
With these
We had, I think, all the animals.
I think we did too. And they all had their own little thing.
And here's one of my favorites.
That's my favorite.
Look at him.
Oh,
Look at him. I mean, come on. Oh.
the little
This
bunny.
kitty bunny.
And then this one's my second favorite.
Yes.
I love
Oh.
the deer.
Look it. Oh.
It's so cute.
So cute.
Yeah, and there's even more than that. But, you know, I think for Lee, when she got those, she would create like this little zoo area where you could go see all the animals. And and those were $5 in the time they came out.
Yeah.
And now they've grown in price.
And they've continued to do that with the small packs with the animals, because now they have ones that are, you don't know which one you get.
The little pods,
And the pods and things like that. So they're a big seller. That's why they keep doing it. It's kind of like the Ninjago spinners. They keep doing it.
Yeah, the Friends are the ones that have the most small packs like that. They have the most, the foil packs, they have the most poly bags. And even just to show an example, this is the very first airplane that they did for the girls. It's like a little tiny jet to jet off to wherever, because there's Olivia. With Matthew, by the way, which we have him today here. Matthew is the most popular boy in the Heart Lake High School.
Oh, yes.
You're talking about in the canon, not actual product.
No. In the canon, yes.
So everyone wants Matthew.
Yes. And notice his hair. Most of the guys' hair is like a normal hair you would see on a regular minifigure.
Yeah.
It's not the rubbery
So
kind.
they didn't redo many hairs for guys. They may have put them out in new colors, but they didn't redo. Like this is Cole's hair.
Correct.
From Ninjago.
And then they've graduated up to this
guy.
ginormous jet.
Regular system style build of a jet, pastel purple.
Pastel purple. Well, and Friends should get a shout out because of Friends, we got the color lavender, medium lavender, dark pink. Those are colors that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
Right.
We got a lot of new colors. I think the Azures, I'm not sure if those are new to
I
it
think
or
so.
not.
I read that. Yeah. Those were new for Friends. A lot of the new yellows and greens that were brand new. So that was a risk for Lego because that's expensive to create a bunch of new molds and colors for one theme.
Right.
And you don't know if it's gonna
take off
or not. And it, oh man, did it ever. In fact, it was so popular, segue, that it had 2 offshoots of Friends. We have the elves, Lego elves.
There's 3 offshoots.
Oh, what was the third one?
Well, you say what you know.
Okay, and the superhero girls.
The DC superhero girls.
Oh, and Disney Princess.
Yes.
That's right, and Disney Princess.
Yes, if it
all
wasn't...
using the mini doll style, all continuing with the idea of larger builds that are larger pieces and simpler and lower. Well, Disney, I guess, is not at a lower price point.
The DC girls, superhero girls, lasted, I think, for 2 years. There was a bit of a controversy as someone, I don't know who makes it, but someone sued Lego because this Bumblebee character here, they were concerned that people would get confused. Transformers would
Hasbro.
Yes, that's what it was. Hasbro. We're concerned that people were going to get confused with Bumblebee and the Transformer Bumblebee. You think that looks like a Transformer?
No.
Which is
they like the name. I think that was the thing. They wanted the name.
I'm willing to take a stab that this character predates Transformers Bumblebee probably by several years.
And we have
princess things that came from it.
Disney Merryweather.
Yes.
Oh no, that's Fairy Godmother. I'm sorry, Fairy Godmother. Right, edit.
She's $30. She's $30. We have some valuables. Snow White, $30, because she only came in one set, a junior set. That's it.
If you're a Disney fan and you're a guy, I can see collecting the Friends mini doll Disney princesses. Because they don't make them all in system.
No, and she's gorgeous. They're all super gorgeous. I love the style of these Disney princesses.
And the Beast has that specific head.
Yes,
to
he's
him.
$50.
What is the most valuable Friends mini doll?
It's someone who you can't get very often that has like a weird hair. There is another girl named Ivy who has a very specific black braided hair that is it only came on her ever.
Really?
She's hard to get. Also, Anne, the mother of Mia, she's very hard to keep in stock.
Because of her hair as well. So people want them more because of their pieces.
Probably.
If they're making sig figs and their hair is like that, it only came on this one figure in this one set.
I mean, honestly, the average price of these is like $3.99.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty inexpensive. But there are some that go as high as $10.
The DC superhero girls, as cool and unique as these head prints, I love this Batgirl. I think that's so cool looking. The little vinyl bat wings and her bat hoodie with the red hair sticking out. I think that's really, really cool looking, just objectively or subjectively, I mean.
Do you want to guess which DC superhero girl the guys buy the most?
Harley Quinn?
Yes.
Okay. I totally see that.
Elves lasted 4 years. Disney's not left. It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger and bigger.
Of course, Elves gave us, there's a whole other podcast, but they gave us these awesome dragons.
Yes.
They're amazing.
And I will say, too, that Friends has had an effect on the regular Lego world. Because do you remember, in Lego Movie 2, there were a few characters that were the mini dolls. They weren't regular.
Oh, you're right.
Do you remember which ones?
Sweet Mayhem. That's one of the standout mini dolls in my brain because she had that weird iridescent hair. And
With
she
the
was
pigtails?
like this weird purple skin tone.
Yeah.
She was like a weird alien or something.
So,
she looked
I'm assuming
awesome. Glampires.
Glampires
Yes.
that have their iridescent hair and all too. I don't know her name, but this little tiny princess is pink and she has a cape that we always get.
Think is yes.
And everybody thinks
she's
it's
got
Friends.
the blonde hair with
Yeah.
But she's not. She's
No.
not Friends.
She was a servant of Queen Watebra Wanabi.
Just a couple other sets that I pulled just because they're so cool. The shopping mall came out in 2013, I think, and it was one of the biggest to date at that time, and it got a couple of awards for it being one of the better toys.
Really?
Yes. In my opinion, there's 2 hospitals now, but this one's the better one, and it is
This is
way
the older
more
one?
expensive to
Yes.
get. Very hard to find. If you can get that set, buy it, because I think it's just going to keep going up. It has so many unique stickered parts in it. It was very detailed on the inside.
Yeah.
The ambulance is super cute. It had a newborn baby, which was the very first time to be introduced with it, because it had in the hospital, it had a women's unit where babies were being born.
That was the first recolor of the papoose? Oh, okay.
And it also had a chair, like a X-ray system, all these stickered parts that were super cute.
skeleton.
Yes.
To go with it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
was
it
great.
not only did it have an ambulance, it also had a helicopter. So honestly, this is like the bomb. I know they just came out with a new hospital, but it's fewer pieces and in my mind not as great.
Yeah.
And they changed the color of it.
There's so much play with this one.
Yeah.
I remember my
So
dog playing with this one.
I can see some of the point of people who prefer more realism that, yes, this is all cool, everything you're naming is correct, but hospitals aren't colored like this. There's no hospital in the world that looks like this.
But here's the thing, the regular hospital with Lego is always red and white.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe we need hospitals painted like that.
yeah, it would make everyone feel better.
Yeah.
Look how happy that baby is being
there's
born there.
There's a Band-Aid even.
Yeah.
I mean, heavens, this is the best thing ever.
Yes.
And do you want to guess what the most valuable set ever that Lego ever created with Friends?
Oh, it's got to be
as far as value today versus how much you paid for it.
Oh, so the most wanted, the most
Hard to
expensive
get
set,
to.
the most at resale market. I'm going to say it's the yacht because we have 100 of them. No, I have no idea.
Actually, it's the opposite of that because the yacht, we have so many because the girls get tired of it.
Yeah,
It's such
I'm
a pain.
kidding.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
There's probably 20 in the graveyard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's funny and sad to me at the same time is that girls will come in and trade their yacht and they're so proud of it. Like, look, I have the yacht.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like $10 for that.
Yeah.
I would love to just have a pile and you're like, great.
Exactly. That's the one we
Pass
have
on over the other
more
ones.
than anything else. I think.
Yeah.
No, the most valuable set was set 3187 from 2012 called the Butterfly Beauty Shop. At the time that it came out, you paid for $30 for it. Now it sells for $100. It's only a very tiny little set, hardly anything to it. And some people have it for sale on Amazon for $300. Whoa.
Why? Because
Sealed.
it came with a bunch of new hair pieces that only came in that set?
I honestly have no clue. I mean, to me, it's just a tiny set. It's nothing to. I don't know if it's just that people kept all theirs, or maybe they didn't make as many.
I was going to say, is it
know.
scarcity?
It could be.
You can't find it?
What
I
is?
mean, yeah.
We talked about the most expensive Friends mini doll. What is the most expensive mini doll, period? Is it an Elves or a Disney princess?
It's a hard one because elves are pretty high up there.
I know
Right.
some of them out there are topping the $60, $70
I think it
mark
might be elves.
for the.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Well,
I
isn't
know
she
that- I was
gonna
40?
She's 30.
30.
She's 30.
Merida is 35 to 40.
Right.
She only
But
came in one
Tatiana
set.
is... for Disney Princess, I know Tatiana's are...
You mean,
Or Tiana.
Tiana.
I'm sorry, I said
Who
Tatiana.
Tatiana was.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry, Tiana.
Tiana is 75.
Yes.
Because she only came in one set, right? She's hard to get.
She's very hard.
She's coming out in some newer sets
but
that
her
have
skirts
released.
It's going to be different.
Yes, okay.
You're right. She is the most expensive, probably.
Over the elves, queens, and elf queens.
Those elf queens are probably $60.
Yeah.
Okay. Mini dolls command a high price, too.
We had someone recently, about a month ago, come in and buy, I think it was $300 worth of our mini dolls.
Yeah.
And I was very, very specific to walk to Chris and say, we just sold $300 worth of mini dolls. And his response was, guess. What was his response? Size-wise, and the most valuable set is this one. I had to bring it in.
Oh, yes.
Grand Hotel. This is a certified pre-owned one. It is for sale. But they just came out with a new one this season for the Grand Hotel, and it looks almost exactly the same. This has a working elevator, people. Working elevator.
And turnstile door.
Correct.
That's a cool bellhop, too. That's really neat.
Yes. And it has a limousine, and it's a great set, and one that many, many girls have come in begging and wishing for. How much do we have it for?
300.
Yeah.
I love the windows. The branding on the windows. Oh.
Are you going to encourage your daughter to do Friends as she gets older?
Yeah. Right now, because she has brothers, because she is so attached to me, everything she wants is boy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
When she plays with her characters, she always says, "This is the daddy."
Aw.
This is always. So everything's boy stuff with her. It's like, where's the mommy? No, this is the daddy. So she's very much, and again, because of two other brothers, probably because she's
absolutely.
all about me. Everything's boy with her. Everything's. So I'm just going to let her decide.
Absolutely.
She doesn't seem to gravitate toward mini dolls yet. I'm not going to force it on her. I'm going to just what do you like? Me personally, being a guy, being a bearded, manly man, I loved elves. I loved elves. I didn't get a whole lot of them. I cherry-picked the ones with the really cool figures. I think the two most expensive I bought.
Nice.
Either on sale or when they were out.
Yeah.
So, or at least some of those evil elf queens that are so cool looking. I don't have the good one. I don't have a good elf queen. Yeah, I don't have her. But Noctura I do have. But the one with the purple hair with the big crown, I don't have her. But the two evil queens I do have. So, because I like the evil stuff. I really liked it. And again, going back, new color palette, new hair. Yeah. For the minifigures or mini dolls. Even the Raya and the Last Dragon mini doll had some really cool Asian stuff that I have put on my female Ninjago figures to be in my Asian village in my area. So it still works. It's still compatible. To me, mini dolls, we talked about this, we joked about this. To me, mini dolls still live in the same universe as my minifigures. They're just taller, more pretty people. Maybe
they're the top models.
There you go. Yes.
Or they're a different race of like elves, like Tolkien style elves, where they're taller and more graceful. So to me, they all live in the same area. They're just a subset of humans.
Yeah. When we talked about it on our Christmas Eve special, and you asked me about my winter village. Will these girls have their own area? I'm like, no, they're going to walk amongst the regular population because that's who they are.
They're just a half a foot taller than
and all the guys will have their mouths open drooling as the girls walk by.
Yes.
Yes. I think we hinted on it heavily throughout, but what do you think is the main success of Friends? Why is it so popular? Why does it keep going?
I think it's really popular because there is a girl, I think, for every girl that's out there of your interest or your likes. And that you can interchange them to make it who you want to be. If you have a certain style of skin, but your hair's a different color, well, you just pop it on, and now you have your character to put in. If you like the robotics, if you like the animals and stuff like that, and I think it just really fits. It's able to fit a bunch of people, and you have your moms and your dads, and you have your animals, which I think are just. I think their animals are fabulous. I think it just fits. I don't know, being a girl, but I love the animals, and they're just great fun to play with.
Love it.
And they did in our family, they just fit in with all of our sets. Like, it didn't matter if they were all friends or not friends. Like, we just put them all together. So it was never, nobody cared that they were a little tall. It just went together. So I think they were very successful in making it fit in with everything else. So you just felt like everything could just go together and play.
It's still system.
Yes.
That was the problem of Belleville and Scala. It was not system.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah.
Bow your heads.
Yes.
Yeah, and now
bow your heads to the queens.
I have a small complaint about them and the way that they are, that they can't sit on anything.
Oh.
That has a stud. Like, in order for them to sit, they have to have a tile under them, and then they have to have that panel with the split in the middle for their feet to flip through. And that sometimes is a little bit of a pain because, then that means they always stand up on their bikes and their mopeds and stuff. That's a little annoying in my mind. But for the most part, I love the Friends characters. I love all that. And there's one theme that's come out that she and I both agree is the worst ever.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The Circus.
The Circus.
What don't you like the
It's so
Circus?
creepy.
It is. The
and
girls
weird,
are creepy.
And the clothes don't look good.
Really?
I don't care for it.
It doesn't.
Is
look
this
good.
brand new for
yeah,
2022?
21.
21.
Oh.
The face makeup is not.
It makes them look weird.
We're
not thrilled
Some
with
of it's
it.
scary. Some of it. I mean, the horse I don't mind too much. If you
We
take
don't
the
have-
stuff off, but
yeah, we don't have any of
know.
the. We haven't gotten any of that in. All the figures that we sell each are all still from the old, like last maybe 7 years. We hardly get any of the new stuff in. It'll eventually come in, but we just haven't gotten it. We just were not thrilled with this.
Did you like the new
characters
horse,
don't
the
look
new
well.
larger horse?
I do like the
I do like the
larger
horse.
They
I like
have
the
a
hair,
couple-
the rubber hair that's on it,
Yeah,
the
it
like
is
softer
rubber.
hair you could kind of play with. That's fun.
Yeah, I do like that.
Okay.
So that
So
horse
the
compared to
characters-
the old horse.
The characters' prints on their faces and clothes
didn't care
are
for it.
weird. Okay.
They-
Is it still the core 5?
It is, but they don't. Their hair's all pulled back in these
It
weird
feels
ways.
dark
It
circus
feels
to me,
dark circus.
not fun circus. It almost like more fun house.
Yeah.
Kind
I
of
gotta
creep
check
factor
these
to it.
out
You
now.
might like it, Justin.
I gotta
Yeah.
check these out.
But when it goes with the theme, though, it just I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it to go with this. It looked great in one of your haunted villages. I
Okay.
feel like they could be a creepy clown funhouse.
It's
That's
more
what it looks
carnival.
like. Yes.
It's more carnival
There you go.
than circus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just
Do they have freaks? Do they have like mutants? I would love that. Like they had a hunchback.
We can get a magnifying glass
Friends
and make
mini
you some.
doll.
Yeah.
We'll just take a solder gun and melt it a little.
Here you go. Justin.
We need some
Hunchback.
ugly people.
Yes.
We need some
There are
ugly
no
people.
ugly people. No ugly people. I mean, look at this gentleman here. Look at him with his
Look at
little
him.
shirt off. He is just.
He's ready for his beach day.
Now
Yeah.
look, there is an ugly.
He's a Florida man.
Yes, there is an ugly. Marcel.
Oh,
Marcel's the balding old
old
man.
guy.
Y'all-
Don't sit him next to the young
They
girls.
always
Marcel.
joke about how
Scary.
creepy he
creepy.
is.
He is.
really-
He's the creepy man next door or something. I don't know. Marcel is nuts. He's a newer character, and he's
Marcel
and he even
needs to
has
live
a hair,
way on the other side of your village.
Yeah, he has
alone.
a hair piece, like his
Yeah.
regular minifig hair and head, and then his hair is. You basically set another bald thing on top of it with a tiny little bit of hair right here.
There was a CMF that had that. Of course, it was yellow. I just noticed because he has his shirt off that his arms are the same size as all the girls.
Yes.
He's like he's showing off how buffy. I guess it would look weird if he had
had a
different
bit of a
arms.
muscle.
Do you guys have any other complaints or any other missteps? I'll start you with one to get you thinking. One thing someone mentioned that I saw was, can we get some different expressions? Everyone's just so happy.
We're all in
Some of the
Highlight City.
elves had, especially the bad girls, had more smirks and evil. I know in the racing sub-theme, there was a character I really, really liked.
Vicky.
Yes.
Vicky, because
Yes.
she had some
She had a
sass.
smirk.
Yes.
She had black
She has a
hair, blue
smirk.
eyes, and she had a smirk. She
Yeah.
was like,
The
I'm
Disney
out to get you.
princesses are starting to do that.
Yes.
Elsa and Anna both have smirks on their faces in some of their
Okay.
of
Yes.
their stuff, but that's just my
It's still a
point.
smile. No
Yeah.
one's screaming. No one's in pain.
No,
Right, yeah.
they're all smirking.
Yes.
They're still happy, but yeah.
And that could be in 2022. I haven't really looked up close for these particular sets that have come out at the figures themselves. So that could be a thing. It could have changed because
Okay.
it has been changing in other mini doll sets.
But going back to, what was her name, Vicky?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vicky is like the first bad guy.
She kinda
They've
is.
never
Yes.
had a bad guy
You
in
really
10
never
years.
knew who the bad guy was
Yeah.
because their faces all do look the same.
Right.
There's basically 5 main heads in a mini doll, so you
Right.
know, and so one had blue eyes, one had green eyes, one had brown eyes, one had freckles and red eye or not red eyes,
That would be the
Yeah.
bad guy.
green eyes,
Green eyes,
and
yeah.
then one I forget the other one, but you always knew based on the head. Even you just oh that's Olivia's head, oh
Yeah.
that's Stephanie's head. You just always knew, and they didn't change.
My issue is Stephanie's bangs. I'm sorry.
She does talk about
all these friends, and no one told this girl, stop with the bangs. Like, all these other girls have let her down.
Okay, so that's her
bangs are
original
bad.
hairstyle. Were bangs in style 10 years ago?
I don't know, but
maybe so.
she's ready for an update.
But
She needs, like, maybe some cute French braids going back for her sporting or something.
Yeah.
Did she dye her hair?
It could be.
No, she's pure blonde. Because
She's Scandinavian.
Yeah, in our
I'm just saying.
in our storyline, she is the main girl
Yes.
of the 5. Like, she's in charge.
Oh, yeah.
And she's the ultimate mean girl.
Is she?
In my mind, I feel like.
Okay,
feel
but
like
they don't represent that in the show or game.
This is just our mental
This
play.
is our mental
But
play.
she is represented as the leader, right? She's the main...
I don't know that she
No?
is. I think they
No?
all
Okay.
equally have their own thing. In our mind, though, she is the leader. And
Okay.
because she's not ever changed, like in our mind, these girls are, you know that television show Once Upon a Time where they're all in the city and they don't know that there's another world out there. And so these girls are in Heart Lake City. No one can leave. If you come in, you can't get back out. And...
Or The Village from M. Night Shyamalan. That's where my brain
Yes,
goes.
yes, Truman Show.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So the 5 girls, everyone has changed except her. So that is what kind of makes her in charge.
That's what I'm saying. She just needs a little something, and somebody needs to just help her with that a little.
Where do you guys see it going in the future? What do you want to see? What's your wish list?
If I'm a little girl, in my mind, I'd like to see one of them get married and have a whole wedding thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like a bride gift.
Okay.
I mean, in the mall itself, there is a bridal shop, but you don't get to see anybody really.
Have they ever done a wedding dress?
They have, in the wedding shop, there is a white skirt in the window. Mm-hmm. And also, Olivia, is that Olivia?
Yeah, I think that's Olivia.
She goes and gets she's got, like, spa mud on her face with her hair in a turban. And so she's...
Oh, so you were like, she's getting married?
Yeah, but no.
I think they probably won't do that because they want to keep the girls young.
It's very stereotypical.
Right.
Well, no, I was thinking because they want to keep them like...
A little.
Like...
Well,
yeah,
at
not
least,
adults.
Well, maybe not one of them then. Maybe one of the others can get married and we can have a
Just
whole...
give me a wedding set.
Yes, give me a wedding
I
set.
want a
It could be
wedding
bridesmaids.
It could be one of their older adult friends.
Yeah.
Correct. Somebody gets married. Maybe their parents remarry. I'm not trying to break anybody up. I'm just saying I feel like I personally, if I were a little girl, because I remember as a little girl with my Barbies, someone always got married.
There you go.
And they
Constantly.
constantly got married. So I feel like as a little girl, I would love that.
I would love a zoo.
Oh, yes.
Because I love
All
the animals so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then start bringing other animals you can add to your zoo kind of thing. You
That would
it
be
started
great.
with a small thing, but yeah. I would love to have a zookeeper.
Yeah.
Now,
The whole
we
thing would be
have
fun.
the baby friend's elephant.
And he is so sweet.
cute. Oh.
So would you want them to just print the friend's girly eyes on the elephant that exists now, or would you want a whole new mold?
I'd want...
I like the one that they made.
I think the one they made fits.
And
fits
there's a tiny
genre
one and
well.
a bigger
Yeah.
one. I think it does.
There
fit
is
the
there's
baby,
a bigger one,
but
yeah.
again, it's different. It's
It
a
is
totally different
but that's
mold
okay.
for the baby
we
elephant.
Now I know there's a rumor that the city set is going to have a zoo out along with the farm. I heard that. I don't know
Really?
if it's true or not, but I heard they're thinking about doing a zoo. I feel like we're not going to get one because they're getting
gonna get
one,
one?
but
Oh.
eventually maybe we will. Our cuter animals and that kind of stuff come in our jungle sets.
Right. I want
Yes.
like an orca. I want the sea
Yeah.
lion. I think would be so fun in
Yes.
this genre.
We have a
the
teeny
orca
sea
with the
lion.
pretty
We
little
want the big
eyes.
ones.
And
Yes.
the pink narwhal.
Yes.
Have the
From-
narwhal.
I would so have the narwhal in my set.
Yes.
I put the narwhal in my winter village.
For me, I want more Vicky. I want the bad guy.
The bad guy.
Have her pop back up because she was only in that one set, right?
Two sets, but they were both the race cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in that instance, all 5 of the girls were race car fanatics. And they
Yes.
all
Yeah.
had the helmet and they all had their hair back.
It was a sub theme, right? They were
Correct.
all racers and stuff. So I say I love the idea. I know it's a little typical, but I love the idea of the rival 5.
Yeah.
Have a rival 5 come in, and maybe you could use
Oh, that'd be fun.
new hair pieces. Maybe like they're a little more punk rock or
Yeah.
something.
He wants
and
Jim
have
and the
Vicky.
holograms and the
I
misfits.
think he
That's what he
does.
wants.
That's
Well,
what
I
he
am
wants.
there for it, Justin.
I agree
I am with you
but
on that.
look,
Yeah.
but this is like one of the most popular sets ever, the Friendship House. They're popular because they get along. If you
That's
bring in
why
a
I
villain,
think
I
they
don't think
won't
it
do
ever
that.
So
will
we need
happen.
an alternate. We need like an alternate
universe
girl
of
group.
friends. Yeah.
So because Vicky isn't really a bad guy.
No.
She's just a rival. She's someone that they can race against, and she loses.
And they hug at the end when it's over.
They always hug at the end.
Little competition's good for everybody.
Everyone. It is. Yeah. This set is popular because this is one of the first ones that came out where all the new looks were there, and all 5 girls are in it. So when people come in and they ask, you can even see here on the side how their looks have changed.
Yeah.
Are the 5 girls on the front of that one?
I think they are.
Yeah, so that's the original, and now look what they look like. You can see a complete difference here in how they're...
See, look at Stephanie's hair in this one.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like,
she still has the bang.
Are you guys... We talked about that earlier. No one likes when they start a consistency and then they change it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But obviously, for social and political reasons, they wanted to make it more inclusive. And also for money, because you said they did a survey, and people wanted more diversity.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
I think it, I think
it's fun her hair changed.
Yeah, I think it is. And honestly, who am I to say? Because I'm not a little African American girl or an Asian girl. And if I were, and I looked at this and saw, well, gosh, at least the Asian girl or the Hispanic, I'm not represented here at all. Yeah. You know, I feel like
that's fine.
For them, that is totally fine.
The other issue is that most adults are not collecting this. This is for children who are only in it for a few years, so it's okay for them to revamp it because they don't remember the beginning.
That's
like
true.
they don't remember, like, oh, this girl wasn't Asian before. They don't care.
Black girl with black hair. Yeah. No, I agree with that. And Chris does harp on that a lot. He's like, Angie, these things are not collectible. People don't come in and go, I need to have one of every Stephanie. I've got to have her. No one does that.
Really?
No one does. Yet, right. Maybe after today. But another reason why is that Stephanie you'll have one figure, this one right here, she's wearing this shirt and these pants, and then there's 5 versions of that. And the only thing that changes is she's got sunglasses on in one, another one she's got her hair pulled back, another one they're
and
all...
Bricklink has it as a different figure.
That's why we have so many. There are over 446 sets in Lego Friends, and there's over 300 figures. But the majority of those figures are repeats with just a change in the top.
Just a different, accessory added.
So that's why most people wouldn't want to collect it. I will say, Chris, if you watch this, the thing that is collectible now are the elves and the Disney princesses and somewhat of the DC Supergirls, but mostly Disney princess are the ones that everyone wants to get all of. I know I do. I bought Tiana. I made 2 monthly payments. I intend to get all of those at some point to go with my regular Disney characters.
Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down and educating me about Friends. I did not know all the history of it. I love hearing about this stuff. If you guys love hearing about this stuff, then why don't you give us a subscribe? Tickle that bell if you want to, and visit our store. All the stuff for our store is in the description. And we have all this stuff and so much more. If you want to just listen to us, we are available as a regular, plain old audio podcast. There's also some other videos around you can click on.
And happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary, Lego Friends. Here's to
wait.
another 10 years.
Yes! Woo-hoo! 10 more years and then we're back in 20.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay!